This is a reminder to myself always to be picky when it comes to trade setups. And right here we have a perfect example from somewhere where I've already learned the lesson. So just today on this auctioneer, I got a sale in the mail for a recipe of Elixir of Giant Growth for about, let's see what it was, 652 gold. Okay, and then I noticed something a little interesting. So I was deciding what to do with my last two of these recipes. You know, how to price the next one that I post up. And I noticed something interesting. I noticed that the same buyer bought two of them from me. And lo and behold, I go up to the listings for recipe Elixir of Giant Growth, and what do I see? Same guy posting them for 900 gold. Now, I'm not going to stop posting my own and undercutting this guy automatically, of course, until I get rid of both of those elixirs. Or if I get a high enough sale price in the next one, I might not undercut down that much. I might want to sell it for 1,500 gold, for 2,500 gold. But this is a perfect example of what happens when you over leverage yourself and pay too much to get in something that's not even a great setup or a great deal. How much did I get these elixirs for, or these recipes for? I don't remember, but it was probably between 20 gold a piece, maybe even 1 gold, and maybe like 100 gold or something like that, or 150. Like, if I don't have that many of them and I've sold them for a lot more, you know, I might buy an extra one for 100, 150 gold, just because I'm expecting to sell for several times more anyway, or a few times more anyway, and having an extra one, uh, you know, my price average is still going to be 50 gold, 80 gold, and that's an acceptable amount of investment and risk for me. Now this guy, his first purchase from me of this item was 405 gold. Now back then I had less of these, so I might have been posting for a lot more. And must have been an undercut war or something, I don't know. And snatched it for 405 gold. And then 18 days ago, he bought another one from me for 346 gold. And compared to the price of 900 gold, that's a nice profit. But the problem is, I paid like probably 10% of that average for these things. And this guy's out. This guy could be out like 1,000 gold, not 1,000 gold, 750 gold on this investment. And I used to do that all the time when I first started in the first few years when I was auctioneering. Like I was just always looking for another potential thing to flip. And when you're more desperate to flip something than you are to, uh, you know, to only put on good risk reward, only like if you're just trying to find anything to flip and you're willing to buy high and try to sell higher, you're in kind of a difficult spot, and this guy's putting himself in a difficult spot now. To be fair, this guy's pretty active, constantly undercutting all the time, so probably does get sales in various places, probably does make up for his loss here, or at least make up for his difficulty here elsewhere. But this type of thing where you're buying for such high prices and selling for higher, to me it's not sustainable. And just the same when you're doing trade setups, if you just want to jump on any old thing that looks like you might be able to get something, jump in any trade just because it's there, that's not good. That's, you gotta find the setups that really scream at you. And just yesterday, for instance, I saw some shit that was just incredible. And it's the same here, you know, if I see someone post this for like 200 gold, I'm not going to buy it. If I see them post it for 150 gold, I'm probably not going to buy it. If I see it 100 gold, I might buy it. You know, and if I see it for like 50 or less, I'll buy like 3 or 4 of them, right? So, and if I see it for like, you know, 30 or less, I'll buy like 10, 20 of them, right? Of course, if there are that many, I'd have to ask myself, like, what's going on here? This, you know, I might only buy 5 of them, you know. So, you know, because I could literally scour the entire auction house and just find things to flip left and right. Things that are a much better deal than buying this from me at 400, 300 gold and trying to sell it for 900 gold. Um, but you know, maybe this guy will learn the hard way, or you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's selling these consistently. I don't know, but just based on my sales history of these things, I think he's swinging for the fences a bit. If he doesn't have any competition, he will sell these eventually. But when people keep seeing these undercuts, they're gonna, you know, not, you know, they're gonna be less apt. And considering he's also posting, you know, 2 of these, well, you know, that could be argued back and forth. So, you know, I'm sitting pretty on this shit. You know, everything that I post, even though I post for very high prices, I'm not buying it out at like medium or high prices. You know, on my Xmog Master character, just today, some guy was spamming the chat trying to sell some of these pieces that I sell, and he was trying to sell them for 200 gold a piece. And generally speaking, that's a lot lower than I try to sell them for. I try to sell them for 500 gold, 800 gold on the auction house. And this guy actually had the audacity to whisper me and say, "Hey, you want to buy some of these items from me for 200 gold?" And it's like, you know, just because he might see me post it for 600 gold and he wants to sell it to me for 200 gold, right? Well, fuck you, okay? You know, these guys are fucking, you know, they're either dumb or they're just fucking cunts or they're just fucking, you know, because a lot of these guys, they think they're smarter than you. They're like, you know, they're like, "Oh, look, this fucking moron is trying to sell this shit for really high prices. So I'll just sell it to him for a price that's already too high because he's a moron and he's going to think he could flip it for an even higher price, right?" You know, so they do this. You know, they fucking send me these offers and it's like, dude, fuck you. Like, I don't even respond to that shit. Like, I'll put them on ignore a lot of the time if they send me more than one message, because you know, fuck you, dude. Like you think I can afford to try to post thousands of these fucking things, uh, on such slim margins? No, no, I can't. I can't be spending that kind of gold on that shit. You know, I'm not buying these things to use for myself. I'm buying these things to flip them and to keep them, you know, to keep them on. To sort of keep a storefront, if you will, keep an inventory posted up. You know, nobody else is doing that because you know they're not willing to take on the risk. And the only reason I can't take on the risk is because I don't over leverage myself, you know, by fucking, you know, buying these pieces for 200 gold a piece. So, you know, it's just the nature of that business. And the nature of the trading business is that, you know, I would say that you make most of your money on base, like they, you know, there's a saying in real estate that you make your money on the when you buy a property. You don't make your money when you sell the property. And what that means is you know, the reason you're making the money when you buy the property because you're only buying the absolute best deals. And by the same token, with trade setups, it's like you make the money when you on what stuff you decide to trade. You know, because by simply not participating in price action that doesn't doesn't look good enough, you're already like sort of, that's like 90% of the game right there. And it's the same thing here. You know, I'm not going to try to flip these for 200 gold, 300 gold a piece. No, I'm going to flip them 100 gold or less. You know. So yeah.